For sure, it's not going away. In the latest chapter of the Epstein saga, the story that simply won't go away as much as some would like it to, the DOJ has announced that they intend to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, we're going to tell you about that in a moment, but first we want to explore the intent here. We told you last week about Thomas Massie leading the charge to attempt to force a vote on releasing the Epstein files. Well, just today, Speaker Mike Johnson is sending the House home early, seemingly to avoid that vote. Reportedly, there would have been enough people in support of it, therefore the only solution is to shut it down. The article says that the House will leave town early for its month-long summer break as members clash over the release of the files related to child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The lower chamber was originally scheduled to be in session through Thursday, but votes were scrapped as Democrats and some Republicans pushed for a floor vote to force the release of the Epstein files. Lawmakers will now head home until September 2nd after votes on Wednesday afternoon. On Monday night, the Epstein controversy disrupted another House Rules Committee meeting, the last hurdle for most legislation before it gets a floor vote, when Democrats threatened to make Republicans take more uncomfortable votes on Epstein-related amendments. The committee instead recessed for the remainder of the week, blocking the House from passing legislation with a simple majority. The House can still bypass the committee and approve non-controversial legislation with a 2/3 majority. House Speaker Mike Johnson accused Democrats of playing political games. Yesterday, Thomas Massie emerged from the Capitol with the Epstein Phase 2 binder. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
I was wondering, with the paralysis in the Rules Committee, it seems like they're not going to be meeting again today because of Epstein amendments. Have you chatted with anybody about that at this point?
Well, it wouldn't really matter. Their Epstein bill resolution is non-binding, so it's kind of fake. The resolution that I have co-sponsored with Ro Khanna would actually bring up legislation that would be binding on the president.
Is your understanding that that will ripen the day after lawmakers get back from August recess?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have 6 days and we needed 7 days for the discharge petition to ripen before we could bring this up before the August recess. So we'll have to bring it up after the August recess. But the good news is the Speaker has no interest in keeping us here one extra day.
So basically, it appears they are doing everything in their power to ensure this vote doesn't go through, including going on break early. Meanwhile, President Trump has yet again come against Thomas Massie, saying Thomas Massie, the worst Republican congressman and an almost guaranteed no vote each and every time, is an embarrassment to Kentucky. He's lazy, slow-moving, and totally disingenuous, a real loser. Never has anything positive to add. Looking for someone good to run against this guy, someone I can endorse and vigorously campaign for. That was posted last night. Clint Russell's reposted it and said, given that Thomas Massie is pushing for a binding resolution to disclose the Epstein files, this makes Trump look really, really bad. So the people's demand has been, release the files. This, by the way, was an expectation that was set by the administration. Phase 1, the Epstein binder incident. Phase 2 is coming. People who are now working within the administration who were calling for the Epstein file release over the past several years. President Trump himself, who instructed Pam Bondi to release the files. Alina Harbour, who went on Piers Morgan to say that many men who were inside the files were going to be held to account. It's been astounding to watch the backflipping unfold, but nonetheless, the people are demanding justice for what is largely believed to be the biggest blackmail ring in history, implicating multiple world leaders, multiple politicians, celebrities, and other powerful people. Those people making the demands are the people who pay the wages of the public servants known as the government. Those people are the ones who are supposed to be in charge of the government, who is there to serve the people, not the other way around. So in light of all of this and the extreme efforts to move on from Epstein, now we're supposed to await with bated breath this conversation that is to happen with the DOJ and convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell. So this is in From Modernity. DOJ announces imminent meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they ask a very important question here. Have they only just thought about speaking to her now? Attorney General Pam Bondi revealed Tuesday morning that the Department of Justice is to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's madame, who has expressed a desire to talk about the so-called client list, the very same client list we've been told for the past 2-3 weeks now just doesn't exist. This Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced in a statement shared by Bondi. He added, "The joint statement by the DOJ and FBI of July 6 remains as accurate today as it was when it was written, namely that in the recent thorough review of the files maintained by the FBI in the Epstein case, no evidence was uncovered that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." Blanche added that President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who's committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say. He also added that he's communicated with counsel for Ms. Maxwell to determine whether she would like to speak with prosecutors from the department, and he anticipates meeting with her in the coming days. Well, this in today from the Daily Caller, House Oversight Committee votes to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell for deposition. The House Oversight Committee unanimously approved a subpoena for the convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell in a surprise move on Tuesday morning. The powerful committee will seek to subpoena the longtime Jeffrey Epstein associate for a deposition following Republican Tennessee Rep Tim Burchett introducing a motion that was approved by voice vote. The move follows Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing that she requested a meeting with Maxwell on Tuesday to press her for additional information related to the deceased sex predator. Burchett has publicly called on the administration to release the full collection of documents related to the Epstein case. He's co-sponsoring Republican Kentucky Rep Thomas Massie and Democratic California Rep Ro Khanna's resolution that would compel the Department of Justice to publish materials regarding Epstein and Maxwell in their possession. The vote comes after the Tennessee Republicans sent a letter to House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer to request a subpoena for the panel to depose Maxwell. Comer and the lead Democrat on the panel, Robert Garcia of California, backed Burchett's subpoena motion. "It's about to get real," Burchett posted on the social media platform X following the oversight panel approving the subpoena motion. "I just did this," he said. What we find amazing about this entire saga is we have probably the biggest bipartisan effort we've seen in some time on this issue. Republicans and Democrats alike are saying enough is enough, and the efforts by Massie to force the vote would have exposed the people who don't want full transparency on Epstein. It's simple. So who is being protected here? We'll let you know what comes of Burchett's efforts and keep you updated on this story, obviously. But in closing, we want to go back to the intent of the DOJ Maxwell meeting. It seems strange that after telling the MAGA base that the Epstein files were a Democrat hoax, you'd then move to meet with Maxwell. First of all, what truth are you really going to get from a convicted child sex offender who was helping to run an operation of this magnitude? But if this was a hoax, then Maxwell is a victim. If the Epstein files are a hoax, then Ghislaine Maxwell would be wrongfully imprisoned. Many are speculating now that this meeting may be preparing the way for her potential release, even a pardon. After all, you can't keep someone with reported ties to intelligence in prison forever, especially if she's cooperating with the DOJ. As we said, we will keep you updated on this story. One thing is